Here's a quick review about the Ken Onion version of the Work Sharp. Will it get you the absolutely most sharp knives out there? No, it will not. But it's going to give you better than a factory edge, and maybe with some more practice, I will be able to get my knives as sharp as what I could do with a stone. But I have tried a stone, one of those big deals, and I got my knives nowhere as sharp as what I have using this. I know the experts do better with stones. I am not an expert, and I don't have the time to learn it and play around with it, hence this version. This knife sharpener makes it pretty quick and easy for the home user to quickly grab your box, your Work Sharp, pull it out. You can easily swap the belts on this thing, and you can sharpen your knives. It takes about, I would say, bank on about 5 minutes per knife. If you're goofing around like I was on the first time when I was using this thing, I sharpened a machete with it. That thing took forever. It was like 30 minutes. Unbelievably hardened steel, whatever. But it did the trick. It got that knife really sharp. Now, this is not because I haven't tried other knife sharpeners out there. Like I said, I've tried stones as well, and I just haven't had much success with them. So, a couple of things that I really like about this guy, specifically the Ken Onion version of this sharpener. So you can switch the degree of whatever blade angle that you're after, and you can sharpen to whatever you want. On the front side, it's got a couple of guides, and I don't think the standard version has this. That'll just let you, when you're pulling the knife through, it lets you really keep track of where the blade is in relation to the sharpening surface. It does have a variable speed on the bottom as well, so you can adjust the speed of the sharpener rotation. Now, where do you learn how to do all this? Well, that's the other great thing about this thing. All the instructions are in the box. There's a quick start guide that comes with this unit, and it's a very quick and easy way to set up your sharpener and get going, because it does come with the belts. It also does come with the full instructions. If you do have the time, I urge you to go through the instructions. It does give you a much more detailed, it gives you a much more complete set of instructions on how to use this thing properly. Setting it up, changing belts is all pretty easy. That's probably the most cumbersome thing about this thing, is the belts are a little cumbersome to change. It does have a little spring-loaded wheel to swap out your belts, so that's how you release the tension on it. But it seems to want to hook on to this thing and this bottom corner a lot. The easiest way I found to do this is to just take and pull it off of the one wheel first and get the other ones off of there. I will leave a link to some of the tips of using this thing to just lessen the learning curve and get you guys started sharpening knives if you do decide to go with the Work Sharp. Box also does come with, you got the one finishing belt, and then you have 4 other belts that do come with it as well. I suspect these things would last for quite a while. I did put it through quite the test sharpening all my dull knives initially when I got this thing. I had a lot of dull knives kicking around. Not only that, I also took this puppy outside to the garage, and it lets you can kind of set this thing up this way and use it kind of like a grinder. And with the coarse belt, I sharpened the lawnmower blade, and that was surprisingly easy, actually, to be honest. I was expecting that to take much longer. It took me longer to get the mower blades off of the lawnmower and set up on a surface and clamp down than it did to actually sharpen them up. So that was really quick and easy, and it's been good since. Now, how long do the blade edges last on this one? I've got this thing here for several months already. I sharpened my knives initially right when I got the sharpener, and I would say, well, they're still definitely sharper than the day that I got them, but I have sharpened them once. So I would probably bank on every 3 to 6 months, depending on how much you're using your kitchen knives, is how long or how often you're going to need to sharpen these things. Keep in mind as well, we just recently took all the garden produce out of the garden, and we chopped everything up with these knives. So they definitely got more use than they normally would. I suspect too, after the first sharpening, the edge is not exactly set to the proper degree that it needs to be. So I think the second sharpening, the one I just did, I don't know, a couple of weeks back, is going to last much longer than the initial. So anyway, that's why I like this puppy. It's quick and easy to set up. You have the quick instructions on it. It doesn't take much time to get going on it. It's a little bit of a goofy learning curve on it. And that's just, it's not because it's tricky or anything like that. It comes to how to pull the knife through and how much pressure to put on it. It really takes a little bit of finessing to kind of get that dialed in to get the sharpest knife edge. That's about it for a learning curve on there. As far as things that I don't like about this thing, I think my only beef is the belt changing. It's easy, but I feel like it's one of those things with, like, I don't know, 20 minutes worth of design work, they would have nailed that and got that really down. This thing here, to take the guide off, the first couple of times it's really cumbersome to pull it off. Apparently now it's actually working a heck of a lot better. I was going to say that I think could be done better, but seems to be that just the first time was the toughest. It's pretty good today as I'm making this video. That's probably about my only gripes with it, actually. The rest is really good. Instructions are straightforward. If you do nothing else, then buy this thing and follow the instructions on the box. I have no doubt you're going to get some very nice, sharp kitchen knives out of the deal.